StrayAllDay.com.
You are now tuned into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve has yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative. That is the go-getter energy that moves any one of us, including yourself, to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. And then we put all this together into a series of frameworks, approaches, insights, strategies, and techniques underneath the umbrella of one unifying philosophy that is called Work on Your Game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. And today's topic is what you should be using AI to do right now. AI meaning artificial intelligence. Before we get into this, I remind you all of two things. First of all, my daily motivation and Monday motivation message is guaranteed to have you focused, sharp, and on point to start your day. You should be getting that message once we start sending it again, but you got to be in my text community to get it either way. So text me at my number, 305-384-6894. Once we start sending that message out again, you'll be getting it straight to your phone. Secondly, Work on Your Game University. We're looking for the ambitious. We're looking for the people with big goals, people who are not okay just being okay, people who really want to do big things. You understand you're going to have to get uncomfortable and out of your comfort zone in order to do it. And that sounds like you. Don't lie to yourself. But if that is you, go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. You can see what our program is about and how to take your next step. With that out the way, let's get into the topic here today, which is what you should be using artificial intelligence, also known as AI, what you should be using it to do right now, today. Now, I've already done an entire series on artificial intelligence and how you should be using it back in episode number 2759 through 2763. I did a 5-part series on how to use it and what's coming and what to do if you feel like AI might be encroaching on your territory. And that was specifically made for people in the entrepreneurial space. So today I'm going to tell you entrepreneurs what you should be using AI for right now, immediately in the present, because these things are already happening today. So that was episode 2759. So that was about 300 days ago. Now we're going to get into things you should be doing right now because this technology is moving forward pretty quickly. Those of you who are not familiar with artificial intelligence, you're probably already using it on the user side, even if you're not using it on the practitioner side. Because when you go and reach the customer service department for a company, there's probably AI who's taking the phone call or AI in the chat in your apps. All of that is artificial intelligence that is being used already. You probably read some articles that were written by artificial intelligence and didn't even know it. So we're going to talk about how some of these things can be used, again, when you're an entrepreneur right now, today. And listen to that series that I already just referenced you to so that you understand other ways you can use AI that I may not speak of specifically in today's episode. Point number one, topic once again is what you should be using artificial intelligence to do right now today. Number one, video editing. Any of you who publishes any form of video, and any of you who's in the entrepreneurial space and you are doing work online, you're probably doing some video. You're probably doing some form of video, whether you are publishing shows like what I'm doing here, whether you are putting out just videos, vlogging, as they say, vlogging with a V, not blogging with a B. If you're vlogging, if you're doing a interview type show, anything that involves putting video footage out consistently, you should be using artificial intelligence for at least some, if not all, of your video editing needs. So again, whether long form, YouTube, social media, course materials, even courses online, anything else, use AI for your video editing because this is an alternative to using humans. Not necessarily because AI is better than humans, although sometimes it is. And I believe there will come a point when AI is better than humans at editing video as a whole. Maybe not necessarily skill-wise, but in terms of overall cost efficiency and how much effectiveness you get how much bang you get for your buck, AI is going to overtake humans when it comes to video editing. That is definitely going to happen. And the reason why I'm saying you should use AI now is because the AI is much more time, energy, and cost effective than having a human edit your videos. The amount of time it would take a human to do what AI is doing when it comes to video editing will cost you a lot more money to pay a human than you have to pay AI to do it. So I'm keeping in mind your costs here, and this is why I'm making this specifically for entrepreneurs, because that money is coming out of your pocket. It's coming out of your profits, or it's just coming out of your pocket, period, even if you don't have profit. So you got to consider all these things when you're editing things. I was talking to a host of a podcast. I was just interviewing on his show a week ago from when I'm recording this. And he was telling me that right now he has an editor who edits the audio for his show, just the audio part. And he does the video too. And he said, my editor, I'm paying this guy like not even half of what he could actually make on the open market. But because we have a relationship, he's willing to work for me. because he sees that in the future, as the show gets bigger, I'll be able to pay him more money. And he was saying, like, yeah, these episodes, because we did an interview. I think the interview I did with this guy was probably, man, maybe 2 or 3 hours long. And I like doing those kind of interviews because you get to go more in depth rather than keeping things on the surface. And we were talking after the recording was over, and he told me that. And I understand it. I completely understand it, because for years when I was putting content out on YouTube back in the basketball days, this is way before AI was a thing that you could use for editing content. I didn't do hardly any editing. I did very, very light editing. It was very same editing. It was so, my editing process was so simple that I was hiring people who worked who lived in the Philippines to do video editing for me, because the process was the same every single time. I just showed them exactly what to do, how to make the jump cuts, and it was it. That's all they had to do. They just had to do a lot of it, because I recorded so much content every single day. And the whole point of it is that it costs a lot of money to hire a human to spend that much time editing video. I spent a lot of time editing my own video, and I didn't even really do heavy edits, but I knew people who made like highly produced and professional level video on YouTube. Even back then, they would spend entire days editing one video. I did mine different. I would make a bunch of videos and just do it in volume. I was doing in volume what they were doing on a one-off process. But my way of doing it volume was definitely just as much out of necessity as it was strategy, because I did not have the skill to edit video or the desire to sit on a whole work for one video on it for an entire day. I had no desire to do that. That would put me to sleep. It would give me a headache. I did not want to do it. I had no desire to do it. And I understood that hiring someone to do something like that, even though I could produce the content for a video like that, I did not have the resources to hire a person to do that. So that's why I was doing mine the way that I did it. So anyway, more on my point. Video editing is extremely time consuming. I just told you that. And it is nearly impossible to shave time off of the time that it takes to edit video. There is no way around it, at least as of current technology. So I have worked with a lot of people who do have video editors or video editing teams. There's some folks I work with. I do some business collaboration with them. I've licensed some of my university content over to their program, and I've gone and recorded my material for their programs, and they have 3 or 4 people on their video editing team, and it takes them months to go through all the material that I've recorded, edit it, get it to a finished product, and then put it up on their platforms. Like, there's material that I recorded, like I'm recording this episode in August, and there's material that I recorded with those people back in May, 3 months ago. They still have not gotten to it yet. Now, I'm not the only person whose material they're editing, granted. So they have a load of material, a whole docket of material that they have to go through. But because it's so heavy, video editing is just a heavy task. It just takes a lot of damn time. It takes a lot of man hours. And as of today's technology, there is no workaround to this. So, or unless rather, you want to use AI. Or that's what it does. AI cuts into this time significantly if you're trying to make high quality video content. Now, again, a human may be able to beat out AI in many ways if you're very detailed. But if you're on, let's say, the level of video production, like production quality that I'm okay with, AI can do your job. It can do what you need. And again, it doesn't have the same needs as a human in terms of energy, time, or pay. It doesn't have to be paid. You will still have to pay AI to do video editing. Understand, the AI is not going to be free, but the amount you spend to have an AI video editor is not even close to the amount you would spend to have a human video editor who could do the same job. It's not even close. So, and also AI is much more efficient because you can give AI 100 projects to do in one day and it will do them, whereas you can't give a human 100 projects to do in a day and expect it to be done consistently. And the humans got to go to the bathroom, eat lunch, and go on breaks and go to sleep and all that stuff too. AI doesn't need to do any of that. So again, equal skill set, AI is going to cost you a whole lot less. And you could also, as a bonus, throw in photo editing on this point as well. Photo editing doesn't take nearly as much time, but it does take time. And there are apps these days that can edit photos really, really well. Any of you who use any of them, you already know this. Point number 2. Today's topic, once again, is ways that you should be using AI right now, immediately today. Number 2, ideation of all kinds. Ideation simply means ideas and or things that you could do or possible solutions to challenges and problems. That's what ideation means. It doesn't mean that ideation is going to solve every single problem that you have. Doesn't mean it will give you perfect cookie cutter in the box solutions to every single thing that you do. but it can it can push you in the right direction. So I have at times gone on, let's say an AI chatbot, let's say something like ChatGPT, and said, ChatGPT, give me some ideas of what kind of content I could record for a solo show that's based around personal and professional development. And I'll tell it to spit out 25 ideas. And out of the 25, uh, 20 of them I might have already done. And that has happened. But 5 of them are like, all right, this might be the seed of an idea. I might not use this exact one, but this points me in the direction of something that I could do. Okay, now I come up with an idea. So it starts me in the direction of an idea that I could use, even if it doesn't give me the exact idea that I could use. AI is very good with this. Any of you who's looking to create content, or you need to create, let's say you wanted to create a course, or you just want to put together a program, or anything you need to put together where it's going to come out of your head, you don't have to get it all coming out of your head. You can use artificial intelligence to help you put these things together without you having to do everything on your own. And this is all a matter of, when you're using AI for ideation, it's just a matter of asking the right question. So you can say, I've already talked about ABC. Give me 25 topics that are tangential to that can support what I've already talked about. And so again, you can talk to AI like you're talking to a human being, and get more complex in your requests, and it can match you complexity wise with its answers. The good thing about ideation is that it's more advanced than anything multimedia is when it comes to artificial intelligence. The ideation space is further ahead than multimedia is ahead for a couple of reasons. First of all, it doesn't take nearly as much resources, computing power, to come up with textual written out ideas or answers or forms or documents or schedules or outlines or any of that. The amount of computing power it takes to come up with that is negligible compared to how much computing power is required for AI to edit videos of yours. Like, I use AI video editing software, and sometimes it just slows down my whole web browser and computer because it takes a lot of computing power for it to do that. But text, it can do that all day. All right, you can sit on ChatGPT and just keep asking it questions, and it can basically write an entire book's worth of answers for you over the course of a day if you just keep typing stuff out. And it for the most part, doesn't really get tired. Now, it could at sometimes when there's heavy load on the system, but it's way faster than what any type of video editing would be. The reason why this is because text is the most primitive way that human beings communicate. And we've been communicating via text longer than we've been communicating through video and photos. And in other words, we've been writing stuff down longer than we've been taking pictures, right? Therefore, it is further ahead in terms of the advanced skills, at least when it comes to AI, again, artificial intelligence, which means you should be using it a lot. That's the point. It is very advanced already. It's advanced right now. So you should be using it right now. The good news about textual AI is that it is generally free. There's a bunch of AI chatbots that you can use for free, and you don't have to pay any money to use it. Challenge is, many people are still not using it or not using it effectively. The ultimate determining factor, as I mentioned earlier, in how much value you get out of using textual AI is the quality of the questions. You have to ask good questions. When you ask good questions, you get good answers. You ask crappy or vague questions, you get crappy and vague answers. So you have to ask good questions and get good prompts. And there are people out there who even will give you, like, hey, sign up for my email newsletter and I'll send you 50 prompts that you can use in ChatGPT. There are people who do that. I don't do stuff like that, but maybe one day I will. And they'll give you the system on asking the right type of questions. So when your questions are low quality, your outputs will be as well. Don't blame the chatbot, blame yourself. So the skill to develop here is asking the right questions. Point number 3, today's topic, once again, is ways that you should be using AI right now in your business. Number 3, any types of draft that you need for written material. Any type of written material. So I just told you ideation, but also a draft is kind of a form of ideation. So drafts of written material. So any kind of written stuff, whether you write blogs, you write contracts, you write outlines, you're writing content for your website, whatever it is great. AI is great at creating at least a skeleton or a draft of what you're going to do. Now, I would not use whatever AI produces as a finished product for a couple of reasons. Because one, AI usually is given surface level material, and you have no idea who else is getting that same surface level material. So you don't want your stuff to just look and sound like everybody else's, because then it's a waste of time, because it just blends in. There's nothing about that content that's going to make it stand out. And also, AI does not have the ability to insert personal experience into written material. Human beings still have full domain over that. So if you're going to get your personal experience into your writing, then you still have to actually do some writing. And stories, narrative, first person point of view, AI can't quite do that just yet, at least not using real examples. It can write something in the first person point of view, but it can't make up a story of something that happened in your life, or it can't tell the story of something that happened in your life unless you tell it the story. And you're better off just writing it yourself at that point. So you can use it as a draft, as like I said. So if you need to write up any type of form letters when it comes to anything business-wise, outlines, business plans, AI is great at these things. Again, you just need to ask the right questions, be detailed, ask follow-up questions, give it follow-up instructions, and you'll get better at giving prompts. It'll produce good stuff for you. And now again, we have no idea how far technology will go. So maybe at some point it will be able to go into our brains and download all the stories of our entire lives and know everything that our brains already know. And now it can just write an entire book for you if you wanted it to. And I guess there's a time it'll be possible you can just insert a computer chip, or you hold the phone up to your forehead and it reads what you're thinking, and then AI chat GPT spits out exactly what you were just thinking. You don't even have to say anything. I don't know if we'll be alive when that happens, but maybe one day that'll be the case. Right now, I can't do that yet. All right, right now, that's not happening. So you still can use AI, though, to at least give you a skeleton, a draft of what you want, and then you humanize what it wrote by putting your own stuff into the skeleton. If you are Googleable, again, if you are Googleable, I'll give you a cool little thing that I found from ChatGPT. I used this like a year and a half ago. But any of you who has enough material out there to where people can Google you, I'm going to tell ChatGPT right now. I'm going to give it a prompt. I'll pull up ChatGPT on my phone. They have an app, by the way, so you should sign up for it so you can use it on your phone. So here's what I'm going to tell it. Write a 2,000 character introduction of me, Dre Baldwin, that I can use as an Instagram post. Okay, so everybody heard what the prompt was, right? Okay, so now I'm gonna send it to ChatGPT, and now it's gonna post something. Now, this is all based on the fact that I have a ChatGPT account. These are free, and I've already given it a bunch of information for myself. So basically, there's a setting in ChatGPT where you can put your personal information in there about yourself, your business, what you care about, what kind of stuff you work on, so that when you say, I need you to write something about me, they know who me is because you've given it information. And also, as I said, if you're Googleable, if you have a Googleable enough name, it can pull information off of Google and use it to write this. So I'm going to read you what it just wrote about me. Okay. Now, you heard the prompt. I'm going to show you what it says. Okay. Here it is. Quote, I'm Dre Baldwin, CEO of Working Your Game Incorporated, where I empower six-figure entrepreneurs to scale their businesses to seven figures and beyond. Over the last decade, I've built a career that's a fusion of professional sports, personal development, and business strategy. Before stepping into the world of entrepreneurship, I spent 9 years as a professional basketball player. On the court, I learned the importance of discipline, mindset, and relentless work ethic, principles that have become the foundation of everything I do today. Through my Work on Your Game brand, I've distilled these lessons into a comprehensive program that focuses on mindset, strategy, systems, and accountability. My goal, to help ambitious individuals not just achieve their goals, but exceed them by providing the tools, strategies, and accountability they need to succeed. I'm also an author of 33 books, a TEDx speaker, and a creator of 50 plus courses, all aimed at driving individuals to reach their highest potential. Whether I'm speaking to an audience of thousands or coaching one-on-one, my message remains the same. Success is not an accident. It is a result of intentional, discipline, and strategic action. At Work on Your Game, we don't just talk about success, we live it day in and day out. If you're ready to take your game to the next level, let's connect. Now, that is all written by ChatGPT. All right. And some of this information is a little bit outdated. I have more than 33 books at this point, and I might describe myself a little bit differently. But if someone had this as an introduction to me, I wouldn't be mad at it. All right. And again, this is all because ChatGPT can Google me. Now, if you're not Googleable, then you might have to provide your own information in there. And then ChatGPT can help you piece it together, but can at least give you a start. That's a great bio to start with. I could take that and copy and paste it online right now. I'd be fine with it. I would change it around a little bit, but that's a good skeleton. That's an example of what I'm talking about. So again, anything that is not so personal, a contract, basic information, terms of service, that kind of stuff you see on websites, AI can create almost the entire document for you, but I must add the disclaimer, this is not legal advice. So anything that's on a legal front, consult a doctor, not a doctor, a legal professional before going forward with it. But anything that is not, you don't need the personalized part in it, then Yeah, AI can write damn near the whole thing for you. But again, I wouldn't let it do just that because other people are doing the same thing. And you don't want your stuff to bloom with other people's. It'll basically have been a waste of energy if you'd have done it in the first place. So that's let's recap today's class, which is what you should be using AI to do right now. Number one, video editing. All right, this saves you a ton of time and energy. Even if you are a video editor, you should be using AI to help you cut down on some of your own workload, which if you're an editor, you probably already know that. Number two, ideation of all kinds. AI can help you with a lot of ideas as long as you ask it the right questions. Key to using artificial intelligence is giving it the right, what they call prompts, which doesn't have to be a question. It could just be a directive. Hey, make me there are AI software apps that do pictures, like photos, and I've used them. You got to ask it, you give it the right prompt, it'll create a nice photo. Number three, drafts of written material. So again, you can't put your personal story in something that AI puts together. So you use it as a draft and then you put your personalization in it on the back end. So do not use this as a finished product because again, everybody else might be using it too and your stuff will just blend in with everyone else and you have just created it for nothing because it's not going to rank you SEO wise or anything like that. So with all that out the way, folks, make sure, work on your game university. If I'm talking to you as a ambitious, high level entrepreneur, you are already at the 6-figure level, you want to go further, you want to go higher, you want to maximize out on your potential, squeeze all the juice out of your fruit, so to speak, go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. You already listened to the show. You know my style. You know what I'm about. Workonyourgameuniversity.com. Let's take it there ASAP. Work on your game. Dre, all